Welcome back. Today we will be delving into mastering the technique of reversing disapproval. In life, unfortunately, we can be plagued by the spirit of rejection. Picture a future where each and every one of your interactions lifts you up instead of dragging you down. The term forward rejection carries the potential to become your stepping stone on the path to excellence. It is not concerned with playing a game with destiny, but realizing that every once in a while there's a hidden opportunity. I'm also saying yes to something bigger. Experiencing a lack of attention or feeling neglected, it's time to turn the tables. This video will reveal 13 strong courses that instruct you on how to utilize resistance. Resistance is powerful, and we're not simply discussing, theorizing. These are the actual practical tactics for the real world that you may use as you go about your day-to-day life. Spread this knowledge to a large audience via perhaps pressing that like button and giving it a ring on the YouTube notification bell. You're discovering that what we're discussing is real. Now let's begin our joint voyage of self-discovery. Prepare to transform your setbacks into your biggest triumphs. Foremost, disregard them as well. Disregard them. In the face of life's unforgiving moments, lack of interest doesn't droop more than it should. Disregarding those that disregard you, isn't it a strong declaration of your sense of value? Picture this. An individual thinks you're not valuable enough to bother with. By opting out, it's their loss, not yours. If I should not interact with you, you are essentially claiming that I am not valuable. Rather than that, it's more like directing a mirror as they subtly mirror their actions while demonstrating that you are not currently impacted. What's the secret to coming out on top here? Immerse yourself in resentment and concentrate on your life, your aspirations, and your contentment. Dive into pursuits that bring you joy, whether it's sports, reading, developing one's abilities, or indulging in the companionship of those who sincerely appreciate you. This isn't about accumulating. It's about taking control of one's own life, the effort you put into it, and the areas in which it is important. It may be painful when someone disregards you. We should not wallow in our suffering, but rather make use of it to kickstart expansion. Create a stronghold of dignity and honor, and let their disregard be just that. Move on. You're not barely making it through their rejection. Successfully implementing this strategy does more than display emotional development. It shows how strong you are on the inside. Stay humble, since your worth is constant, not because of a person's visual impairment. Respect yourself, be authentic, and allow yourself to shine. What you do is more telling than what they do. Remain rational. If you're feeling rejected, it could make you desire to express your intense feelings, but behold, a hidden gem bestowed by the Stoics: stay composed when someone brushes into you. It's easy to give in to anger when you're upset, unless melancholy assumes control. Modern Stoicism, a philosophical tradition much like it did in classical Greece, provides an alternative route. It recommends adopting a well-reasoned reply. This is not about numbing out your emotions, it's about avoiding their manipulation. Instead of addressing your concerns, you are shunned. Or if you're looking for approval, distance yourself. Inquire as to why this is causing you distress. Frequently, it's not the rejection per se, yet the self-doubt that causes us pain. Above everything else, here is the place we must arrive. For real, no one is paying attention to you. Take a deep breath. Take a moment to consider why this isn't who you are. It's only a fleeting experience. Being stoic means dedicating oneself to one's principles, taking part in and reacting to life. Behave in a kind and considerate manner. If you want to get in touch, do so because you are really concerned, not anticipating a response. Take a proactive stance. It's about learning to control your feelings and understanding that your value as a person doesn't depend on the acceptance of others. Your authority resides in your reaction, not other people's. Adopting that is a game changer. It's not simple to adopt this approach, yet it's life-altering when you learn to relax. When confronted with rejection, you aren't just dealing with a challenging circumstance, you're growing. You realize that your inner harmony does not rely on other forces for verification. It's an adventure in assuredness where you discover the importance of self-worth. On your own, you demonstrate actual strength, resilience, and confidence. Those folks are really beautiful. Gravitate toward those that exude confidence and remain resilient through thick and thin. Maintaining composure shows a lack of interest. You're going above and beyond, you're thriving. You are maturing into an individual capable of confronting setbacks and using them as stepping stones to self-improvement, which is the Stoic method. Put them out of your head. Also, please don't hesitate to hit the subscribe button. Thinking about it when you're rejected, mastering the skill of detachment can lead to something you can use to your advantage. This does not include ignoring or making it seem as though rejection didn't hurt. What matters is transforming that encounter into something meaningful. Begin with a shift by admitting to yourself that you experienced the pain of rejection. Yet, don't fail to use it as a fulcrum for your ideas. Be a competent mariner negotiating turbulent waters, using the currents to propel you ahead rather than sink your ship. Turning down acceptance necessitates a change in viewpoint. See dismissal not as an obstacle, but as a sign directing you to a different route. Explore pursuits that uplift your soul and increase the spectrum of your experiences. Embark on a journey through a book that stimulates your mind, participate in a sport that challenges you, or take part in a collaborative endeavor that provides a new paradigm. These aren't just objects of interest, they serve as stepping stones to progress and self-discovery. With each passing day, your life is shaped by the experiences you have, making you stronger and more versatile. Grow a network of supportive individuals who cheer you up and encourage mutual development. Keep in mind that being rejected does not indicate that you are unworthy. It's a request for you to find your true identity again and start anew. Along the way, you'll discover that what appeared to be an agonizing rejection served as a gentle prod toward a new beginning. Finally, the fourth route shows. Fourth, show how valuable you are. The rejection of your value is painful, but it's also a measure of your resilience. Rather than withering under its influence, use it as an opportunity to show your determination in the future. Whenever you showed up to a meeting or were passed over for a promotion, relax. Rather than unleashing a tempest of misery, direct that vitality onto productive effort put into a project, showcase your abilities, or propose to spearhead a brand new endeavor. Your worth isn't undercut by the carelessness of others. It's a chance to shine more brilliantly. In the gloom of termination, recall the old adage, when one door shuts, a new one appears. This isn't merely inactive background noise, it's a plan. Not being accepted doesn't mean your effort isn't well worth it. It will lead you to your true path. Perhaps it's just a cosmic nudge toward a more favorable alignment. Using your skills and interests, make advantage of this to encourage a re-evaluation and realignment. Where do you excel, and how can you capitalize on them? Turn around to maximize their potential. It's time to write the first chapter of your success tale. Whenever obstacles serve as opportunities for revival, this isn't about laying down. Persevere in the face of setbacks, welcoming a wide range of feelings before continuing forth with grace. To be stoic is to train oneself to pay attention to the things that really matter. Those who are able to manage their own behavior and responses when confronted with the prospect of rejection show compassion for oneself and for others around you. Perhaps that co-worker who somehow failed to notice you struggles with self-doubt. Broaden your comprehension, not because it is a flaw, but to strengthen yourself by expanding your wisdom. Draw wisdom from these encounters and consider, as a phoenix rises from the ashes, learn to rise from the ashes of rejection. Become more knowledgeable than before. It's only the beginning of a new chapter in your story. This is a storyline that's trying to get you to become the truest, most robust rendition of yourself, using the knowledge accumulated throughout time and the dynamism of youth. See its metamorphosis from your dread to your most trusted ally in development, progress, and triumph. Fifth, stop communicating. Silence is more than simply the lack of audible sound. It's an effective resource for managing your emotions, particularly when confronted with rejection. When you see yourself being disregarded or abandoned, your gut may be screaming at you to respond as a means to try to close that gap. But now is the time to turn the tables on them and embrace silence. Keep quiet. It's not a game. Rediscovering your strength is the key when you opt out of responding and avoiding overwhelming phone calls or messages. You're moving forward. Yes, this halt is for everyone, not just them. So that you may readjust and keep in mind, rejection has nothing to do with a person's value. Now let's investigate this quiet. Silence isn't doing nothing. On the contrary, it's maneuvering. Instead of idly waiting, you're contemplating and developing. Now is the moment to get back to what really matters to you, achieving your objectives and following your passions. View it as a way to start over in life, providing you with the clarity and power you need. Time without communication isn't chilly or uncompromising. It's a limit you establish for your mental peace. It means that you value and honor yourself. The mentality is not only powerful, but also stoic. It says a lot about how valuable you are to yourself. Self-assurance is key. Lastly, take into account the hidden message you're transmitting in a world that often calls for prompt replies. The way you remain silent is captivating. Despite being silent, it demonstrates that you are not quickly dismayed by the abundance of rejection. Personal interests and goals outside of this are what matter. Turn-downs aren't about achieving them. Don't turn back with remorse or return with a stutter. Demonstrate your rock-solid center and refuse to be susceptible to convincing others of their worth. A change is not guaranteed by this strategy in their actions, but it guarantees a shift in yours that fortifies you even more. Stay calm and prepared to tackle any challenge that follows. Sixth, show them that they are incorrect. Disprove their claims as you master the use of rejection. Rejecting someone doesn't mean you have to prove anything to them. Convince yourself that other people are mistaken about exactly what you're capable of. Turn rejection into motivation for development. For example, if someone questions your competence in a particular area of expertise, see it as an opportunity for you to hone that talent, not to win their favor, but to outstrip their expectations. Delve deeply into the world of learning. Put in countless hours of work and always have a skill level to the point where you surpass what you or others thought possible. This isn't about a shocking revelation for those who question you. It's about insidiously constructing a castle of certainty and competency. At this moment, consider the results of your choices. Instead of using unnecessary words, publish your goals, update your status, and let outcomes determine whether you're perceived as lacking imagination. Begin a venture that expresses your imagination. Let your regular behavior be a reaction to this quiet revolution. Personal development isn't a fight in opposition to the views of others, but a crusade on a personal level. In situations when you transform how society perceives you, transitions to the point where demonstrating your worth becomes natural. The problem is not with altering their views, but with changing your personal perspective. Imagine yourself on a path of self-improvement. Working on one's own development is going to not only shock others, but also resculpt your comprehension of your skills. This goes beyond using rejection as fuel. Notwithstanding their claims, it's all about reimagining how you define good and wrong. Achieving success on one's journey means understanding that the sole opinion that counts most is the one you offer yourself. Get out there and enjoy yourself, and let your actions speak louder than their doubts. Enjoy yourself. The essence of existence is most radiant the moment we decide to do things differently. Embracing joy goes beyond simply possessing. It's entertaining and a smart move to construct the ability to bounce back from setbacks. Standard procedure dictates retreating to stew through the acidity of the environment. Familiarity, however, I can provide you with a twist counter to that drive by actively pursuing. This isn't about disregarding your challenges, it's about providing them with a fresh perspective. Play area, whether it's discovering a new pastime or rediscovering a former love, conduct turns becomes an assertion of rebellion in the face of overwhelming rejection. People are inherently sociable, and there's tremendous influence in collective experiences. Background on your path to maximizing setbacks. Keep in mind the worth of your connections. Go for a trek with a group of buddies from your tribe, engage in a group creative endeavor, or just provide a dinner. These times spent together do more than merely lift your spirits. They confirm your role in the fabric of connection between people. Sharing a chuckle with each other, the tale that is shared serves as a gentle prompt to the fact that your value exceeds that of your obstacles. You're a part of a bigger picture, a story that is built on building relationships with one another's resiliency. This is the point where truly remarkable things may unfold when you venture into uncharted territory. The experience of rejection may be rather limiting. However, in truth, it gives a lot more opportunities. Try a cuisine that is completely new to you. Go to an area you've never ventured into before, or attend a session covering ground that is unfamiliar to you. These encounters are more than diversionary factors. They present possibilities for advancing with each passing year. They influence your personality, empowering you to be flexible, compassionate, and capable of managing the challenges that life throws at you. Surprises. Keep in mind that the objective isn't to ignore the setback, but to learn to thrive despite it, transforming each experience into a springboard on the path to a fuller, more exciting life. Raise your standing in society. Raise your standing in society. Within a chamber that is hardly unnoticed, therein Stoicism resides your concealed opportunity. It instructs us in transforming such instances of rejection into avenues for individual progress. Rather than chasing approval, concentrate on bettering oneself and one's community participation. This has nothing to do with scaling a social ladder. It's all about moving up the personal rungs on the ladder. Personal growth pursuits like workout routines, interests, and pastimes aren't limited to climbing the corporate ladder. They empower you to create a more robust and capable version of oneself. Describing your journey without seeking acclaim is crucial in order to establish a rapport when discussing your passions and successes. Let it be a way to connect with like-minded individuals about your narrative. This is not an approach to accrue supporters, but an earnest endeavor to meet individuals that have similar values. Via participating in networking events or voluntary activities, you are not doing anything more than bolstering your resume. You're creating a fabric of significant relationships. This method is based on the teachings of Stoicism. Self-improvement and making a positive impact are interwoven throughout. Enhancing your standing in society by purpose is vital, and it is not a mission in pursuit of fame. It's an adventure towards evolving into an improved individual. Make sure that every action you do counts, leading to positive changes that have a domino impact to benefit the neighborhood. Changing one's viewpoint is essential, yet it's not about visibility. It's about seeing while also assisting others. Cultivate this unwavering attitude as an effective resource for today's society, redirecting the flow of rejection into an impressive surge of good. The 9 members of transformation pretend that they... When confronted with an individual, refrain from making any mention of them. Even the most powerful overlooks you at times. Your reply should be subdued. It has nothing to do with being chilly or being nasty. It's about not disturbing your own tranquility in the event that someone lets themselves be disregarded by you. It's not worth it to exert yourself trying to catch their interest or initiate a dialogue. Turn instead your focus to a gathering such as a celebration. This might signify approaching a person who places a high priority on initiating a discussion about your business. The key is to realize how valuable you are. Your worth cannot be defined by the opinions of others. Recognition within the inevitable junctions when you are required to communicate alongside this individual should uphold being professional. Keep discussions to a minimum, to the point, and free of subjective depth. The point is not to expose them. Being present for oneself is key. Remaining solely focused on business avoids inviting needless conflict. It's a position that expresses support for what's crucial, not for the game. This strategy keeps your attention where it needs to be, ensuring that you remain stable and unaffected by their complete lack of interest. If they still don't care, accept it. Leaving doesn't mean you've lost. It's all about the strategic retreat, realizing that your vitality is superior. Devote time and energy to other relationships and hobbies that allow you to flourish. In order to avoid taking part in a biased challenge, you're not only getting over someone, but you're approaching with more grace. This opens possibilities for better communication and a calmer mental condition. Addressing apathy does not need introspection on failure. It serves as evidence of your power and dignity. Choose to ignore their concerns. Keep quiet and ignore them. Remaining silent while being ignored isn't about gaining an advantage. Stoicism and the preservation of dignity instruct us to refrain from using quiet as a weapon to incite or influence. Instead, use it to engage in introspection and deal with emotions. Confidence when no one pays attention to you means, instead of speaking, just be quiet for a while. Self-reflection is a period for comprehending, to sort through your sentiments and ideas. And getting a handle on this isn't about getting even with the other person. It's about maintaining your serenity within this stillness. There's a deep possibility of self-improvement. It's not about closing down, but rather opening up to stand on your own 2 feet. Stoicism teaches us to make the most of these times, to consider our principles and aspirations. Seize the opportunity to interact with the world and inquire as to why this is a concern of yours. How can you use what you've learned from this? Cultivating this type of quiet is positively impactful rather than negatively. It's a chance to emphasize your own qualities and ensure that your response timing is in sync with your standards. So in the event that you decide to stay peaceful, let it be a deliberate decision grounded on introspection and knowledge. Choose to refrain from participating in actions beneath you, such as deceit, vengeance, or petty matters. Adhering to Stoicism necessitates moderation and exercising restraint by deciding not to reply. Ignoring someone else isn't what you're doing here. It sounds like you're giving yourself a good earful. It's an exercise for keeping your tranquility while concentrating on your own journey, living up to the Stoic principle of calmness under hardship. Refrain from requesting attention. Be calm and collected when confronted with detachment. The Stoic path isn't to plead for focus. It's an appeal to anchor yourself. Believe in the value of yourself and being alone when no one pays attention to you. It is not the signal for you to execute form, booming to get their attention. Instead, it's a chance to reflect on one's values. As Stoicism tells us, your own personal values and sense of self-worth shouldn't swing wildly, influenced by the focus of others. It's all about having a strong sense of self-worth, understanding that your value isn't conditional on bargaining. Pursue your interests and passions passionately. Independence isn't about displaying in order to bring someone to terms with what they're going unnoticed. The key is to understand who you are and what you provide. Engage in pursuits that bring you joy, make connections with others that value you, and foster an existence that enables you to be pleased. This isn't a menial task, it's energetically embracing your own life. Being deeply invested in your personal progress and contentment is required for external affirmation to begin to diminish into irrelevance. Instead of pursuing brief focus, become an expert in your own field. Create a life that fulfills you, unaffected by the opinions of others. Let your self-assurance and confidence shine, resulting from your individual progress and accomplishments, not just lip service to a group as unmoved as these people. This strategy involves more than simply handling being rejected. It's about getting over it, staying focused on the important things, personal development and success. You transform setbacks into an opportunity to solidify your choice while expanding your knowledge about valuing oneself by being kind, but emotionally. Maintain a level of impersonal kindness. Far away, even when confronted with apathy, decide to reply with compassion while preserving your emotional realm. This isn't about shivering. Preserving your inner serenity is the key. Being ignored by someone is normal, and it's okay to feel angry or hurt. But the lesson of Stoicism tells us to handle situations like these without emotional turmoil, while maintaining composure. Be kind and welcoming with a grin or a basic good day wish. However, instead of being unburdened by the demands placed upon you, understand that being compassionate is more of a gift than a purchase. Keeping one's emotional distance from others isn't about constructing barriers. It's about realizing that although you have the power to act, what you do is beyond your power. Some people think that this distance is an indication of vulnerability rather than strength. For one's dignity, it's an intentional decision to refuse to be controlled by the acts of others. Maintaining a kind demeanor while separated implies that you opt out of letting their lack of interest throw you off your equilibrium. This method offers more than simply security. You're given more agency. This road of compassion paired with pastoral detachment is a strong manifestation of Stoic wisdom. It's a state of equilibrium that permits you to connect with grace, yet remain resolute in your personal emotional honesty. It shows how much you value one's own benefit and that of others, leaving a legacy of strength and kindness.